February 1948. The sea is calm. The sky is clear. Hundreds of ships are moving silently through one of the busiest waterways on Earth. Then suddenly, a signal cuts through the silence. Not a voice, not a scream, just 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots. SOS. Moments later, another message follows. All officers, including the captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. And then the final words, "I die." What happened aboard the mysterious SS Ourang Medan? Why were the crew found dead without a single visible wound? And did this ship even exist at all? Tonight, we dive into one of the most chilling maritime mysteries ever reported. A case that still divides historians, investigators, and skeptics to this day.
Our story begins in the narrow waters of the Strait of Malacca, a vital shipping corridor between Malaysia and Indonesia. Even today, it is one of the busiest trade routes in the world. In 1948, it was already a major artery of global commerce. The world was recovering from the devastation of World War II. Military surplus was being transported, nations were rebuilding, and secrets were everywhere. On that quiet February day, several merchant ships sailing these waters reported receiving a strange Morse code transmission over their radios. At the time, Morse code was the most reliable form of long-distance communication at sea. Unlike voice transmission, which could fade or distort due to atmospheric conditions, Morse signals could travel thousands of kilometers clearly through radio waves. The signal began with SOS, SOS, the universal distress call. Then came the message. This is Steamship Ourang Medan. All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. Before other ships could fully process the message, a second transmission arrived. I die. And then, silence. No further communication, no response to repeated calls. Only the sound of open sea. The closest ship to the reported coordinates was an American merchant vessel named the SS Silver Star. Its captain immediately altered course. At first, they assumed piracy, or perhaps a mechanical failure, maybe a boiler explosion. Those were common enough in the era of steamships. After hours of sailing, the Silver Star crew finally spotted a vessel drifting quietly in the distance. It appeared undamaged. No visible smoke, no listing, no signs of collision. Just a ship sitting still in calm water. That ship was reportedly named SS Ourang Medan. The captain of the Silver Star attempted radio contact. No answer. They sounded their horn. No response. Through binoculars, they saw no movement on deck. It was as if the ship had been abandoned, yet it hadn't sunk. A boarding party was assembled, and what they found has haunted maritime lore ever since.
When the rescue team climbed aboard, they immediately noticed something strange. The air felt heavy, unnaturally still. As they stepped onto the deck, they found the first body. A crew member lying on his back, his eyes wide open, his mouth frozen in a scream, his arms outstretched as if trying to defend himself from something unseen. The rescuers continued forward. More bodies lay scattered across the deck. In the bridge, the captain, dead. In the chart room, officers, dead. In passageways, sailors, dead. Even the ship's dog was found lifeless, and every single body shared the same expression, Wide eyes, open mouths, faces locked in terror. There were no visible wounds, no blood, no signs of struggle, no signs of piracy, no burn marks, no damage to the ship. The radio operator was found in the radio room, slumped over his equipment, fingers still resting near the Morse key. He had sent the final message, "I die." The silence aboard that vessel must have been unbearable. The rescuers later described the atmosphere as suffocating and eerie. Some even claimed the temperature inside the ship felt unusually cold, despite the tropical climate. At this point, the Silver Star crew concluded something abnormal had occurred. They decided to tow the vessel back to port for investigation. But whatever had happened aboard the Ourang Medan was not finished. As towing preparations began, smoke suddenly started rising from the lower cargo hold. At first it was faint, then it thickened. Within minutes, flames erupted from below deck. The boarding party had no choice but to abandon ship and return to the Silver Star. Shortly afterward, a powerful explosion tore through the vessel. Witnesses described a violent blast that lifted part of the hull before the ship broke apart. The SS Ourang Medan sank beneath the surface, taking every body and every piece of physical evidence with it. No wreckage was officially recovered. No official investigation report survives. And that is where the mystery deepens.
One of the most debated aspects of this story is whether the SS Ourang Medan was ever a registered vessel at all. Researchers searched maritime records, including those maintained by Lloyd's Register, the authoritative body that tracks ship registrations. No official record of a ship named Ourang Medan was found in standard shipping logs. This absence led many skeptics to dismiss the entire story as maritime folklore. However, supporters of the case argued that the late 1940s were a chaotic time. The war had just ended, many ships operated under false names, some were unregistered, others were used in black market trade or covert operations. In 1954, Dutch and German newspapers published articles describing the incident in detail. These accounts included testimonies allegedly from individuals connected to the event, but again, no hard evidence. Then, decades later, another piece of the puzzle surfaced. In 2003, previously classified documents were released by the Central Intelligence Agency. Among them was a 1958 letter referencing the Ourang Medan incident. The author of the letter suggested that solving the mystery of the ship might help explain other unexplained disappearances at sea. The CIA never officially confirmed the event as real, nor did they provide a conclusion. The document raised more questions than answers. Why was the case considered worthy of intelligence interest, and why was the file kept classified for decades? The most widely accepted explanation is far less supernatural, but no less disturbing. Some researchers believe the ship was illegally transporting dangerous chemicals. Possibilities include potassium cyanide, nitroglycerin, other volatile wartime substances. After World War II, chemical stockpiles from Germany and Japan were scattered across Asia. Black market smuggling was common. If seawater entered the cargo hold and reacted with certain chemicals, it could have produced toxic gases. Hydrogen cyanide gas, for example, can cause rapid respiratory failure. Victims exposed to high concentrations may die within minutes, sometimes with expressions of distress frozen on their faces. This theory could explain no external injuries, sudden death, crew dying simultaneously, the later explosion from unstable cargo. It also explains why the ship might not have been properly registered. Illegal cargo does not come with paperwork. From a scientific standpoint, this remains the most logical explanation. Another theory ties the story to Japan's infamous wartime biological research program, Unit 731. Unit 731 conducted horrific human experimentation during World War II. After the war, some scientists were allegedly granted immunity in exchange for sharing research data. Could the Ourang Medan have been transporting biological agents? If containment failed, it might have killed the crew quickly. However, this theory remains speculative and lacks direct evidence. Then there is the interpretation that refuses to die, the paranormal angle. Supporters point to the frozen expressions of terror, the ship's dog found in an aggressive stance, the heavy atmosphere described by rescuers. They argue that toxic gas alone cannot explain the intense expressions reportedly witnessed. But we must remember, when oxygen levels drop or when humans experience extreme poisoning, muscles can contract involuntarily. Fear expressions can be physiological, not necessarily emotional. Still, the human mind is drawn to mystery, and when evidence sinks into the ocean, imagination fills the void.
Here is what we can say with reasonable certainty. Newspaper articles from the 1950s describe the incident. A CIA letter references the case. No confirmed ship registry has been found. No physical evidence exists. It is possible the event happened, but details were exaggerated over time. It is also possible the story evolved from maritime rumor into legend. Without wreckage, without official investigation records, and without crew manifests, historians remain divided. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet. Even in the modern era of satellites and GPS, ships still disappear. Aircraft still vanish. The sea still keeps secrets. The Ourang Medan story survives because it taps into something deeply human. The fear of isolation, the fear of the unknown, the fear of dying alone in the vast silence of open water. It reminds us that even in calm seas, danger can be invisible. It reminds us that history is not always neat and documented. And it reminds us that sometimes the truth sinks and never resurfaces. Was the SS Ourang Medan a real ship destroyed by toxic cargo? Was it part of a covert post-war operation gone wrong? Or was it a maritime myth that grew stronger with each retelling? We may never know. But somewhere beneath the waters of the Strait of Malacca, if the story is true, the remains of that vessel still rest, along with the unanswered question carried in its final transmission. I die. And sometimes the most terrifying mysteries are not the ones with monsters. They're the ones with no explanation at all. If you enjoy deep dives into real historical mysteries grounded in documented sources and critical analysis, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. What do you think happened aboard the SS Ourang Medan? Let's discuss.